Good afternoon. I'm Dara Bunjon. I'm the food enthusiast here at Jamer Living. I'm a food writer, food stylist, PR maven, and a frustrated baker. Those of you joining us live, drop your comments and questions for my guest or myself into the comment box, and you'll see me check from time to time. You'll see me turn my head. This week's guest is Andrew Little, one of three co-founders in the development of Goldholly. Their mission is to revolutionize American caffeine with a native plant that's better for you and better for the planet. Goldholly American Super Tea is a delicious caffeinated USDA certified organic tea made from 100% American grown Yapan holly. Let's bring Andrew in.
Hi, thank you so much for
Huh.
having me today.
I am excited to talk with you in greater depth. What's on your plate today other than doing the show?
Well, a lot of things in startup world. You start a company and nobody tells you, well, they actually do, that there's a ton of things that you have to do on a day-to-day basis. So today doing a little bit of marketing, a little bit of sales, and I have a nice chicken tikka masala waiting for me in the fridge following the podcast.
Ah, so, so I do that too. After the show, I go, what can I eat? It's sort of like
Like, don't
whatever.
want to be too bloated for the show, but after I'm happy to, hurt myself with some great Indian food.
Well, I didn't realize you are a foodie then, I guess.
I
Love a
am.
food. Okay, so I didn't put some questions in here at the bottom but I will get, now that I know that you're into food. I didn't have much time to talk to you, everybody. I met Andrew and his partners at the Fancy Food Show in the area where it was new businesses, emerging businesses, and enjoyed the tea, enjoyed the story behind it. Was curious. I mean, your career was finance, Wall Street. When you were younger, let's say 10 or 11, I mean, 10 or 11, I was going to be a nurse, I was going to be a teacher. What were your dreams when you were younger? Was it to go to Wall Street? I mean, where did that develop to go there to?
Yeah, I think, when you're young, you start with these really broad aspirations that you don't really understand at the time. So I definitely had this, I want to be a business person mentality, whatever that means, right? Anybody who is, working in a business is, I guess, a business person. And so as time progressed, I got a little more clarity on that. My mother was actually uh, one of the first women to really, do pretty well on Wall Street when I was a kid. So I always really looked up to her. And as I got more clarity on what being a business person was, I decided that I wanted to, yeah, follow in her footsteps. And for me, I'm very throughout my entire life been very passionate about the environment, protecting our natural resources, our natural landscapes, and then native species, endangered species, and plants that are a part of the ecosystems and environments. And so, I was in finance for a couple of years, and it felt like it wasn't really necessarily aligned with my passion, and I was very lucky to find sustainability related investing while I was on Wall Street. So pivoted my career from sort of this generalist role to focusing on that. And then as time progressed, just had this deep need to, I think, create tangible positive change that I could actually see and that I actually, uh, fully believed in. Not that I think all of the things that were sustainability related on Wall Street really great, really important for facilitating the movement of capital to positive things, but I wanted to create something tangible. And a couple of years ago, my two co-founders and I were all talking. We'd been drinking Yopon tea, and I'll definitely get into that. But for a while, and we sort of had this idea. Hey, there's not a big market for this amazing caffeinated plant that is native to the U.S., so really good for the environment. Um, why not do something about it? And so we put our heads together and both, we worked our jobs, did all of the normal stuff. And then, the right time came, all of us left our jobs. And now, since earlier this year, really, we incorporated in February, we've been full steam ahead on Goldholly is the name of the company. And yeah, our mission is to revolutionize American caffeine with Yopon Holly, the only caffeinated plant native to North America.
All right. So I know that partners, it's Liam Trotsuk. I'm not sure I'm saying the last name
Oh,
correctly.
you got it. That's perfect.
Yay. Okay. And Jeffrey Chung. Now, I know Liam went to Brown University and you went to Brown University. Did you know each other at that time?
Yeah, really, it's a pretty funny story. Liam and I laugh about it quite a bit. We sat next to each other in Chinese class, of all places, in our first week of school. Really, didn't know that over a decade later we'd be, running a company together with Jeffrey, who's Liam's friend from childhood. So got to know Jeffrey pretty well over the past, few years before, even Goldholly was an idea for us, and so really, seeing that we all have complementary skill sets. Jeffrey comes from the art world, very well versed in that, and also design, has quite a good pedigree when it comes to design. And then Liam is like a master logistics wizard. He worked at JetBlue for a number of years in route planning and pricing. And it's been, just essential to our business operation in every way.
And I think where you were situated in the fancy food show, just the area that I'm talking about was anybody who's been to the Javits Center was the upper pavilion. And it was all, as I said, emerging businesses. But was it not under the auspices of Brown University Alumni Entrepreneurship that there
Oh,
were
this
some?
this one was Cornell. So we
Oh,
got
that was
very
Cornell.
lucky. Yeah, we're trying to get as many academic exposures as we possibly can. But no, I'm kidding. We got Cornell really fortunately through being located in New York State. So we are core to our mission is making sure that we are benefiting all of the local areas that we are working with, and that our business is sort of ingrained with. So that goes all the way down to the American South, the various states that we're sourcing our Yopon Holly from, to Pennsylvania, where we are producing our tea with a manufacturer, so packaging, all of those sort of things, and then New York State, where we fulfill each of our orders for, partnering with a nonprofit called Mid Hudson Works. They hire disabled veterans, provide gainful employment. So each Gold Holly order is picked, packed, and shipped by veterans who
One,
work there. Yeah, and
I,
it's,
I,
sorry.
that there are benefits at each stage. People are benefiting beyond three partners, that it's a giving back organization of a quality, tasty product. Um, let's talk about Gold Holly or the Yopon Holly.
Yeah.
Explain to people what it is because they've seen it. They see it all the time, pretty much. Let's talk about the Yopon Holly.
I love talking about Yopon because it really is, it's Mother Nature's multi-tool is sort of how we've been positioning it. It's not yet in our marketing messaging or anything like that, but to me, that's what it is. So this plant, it's really remarkable. It's native to North America, particular to southern North Carolina, through the Florida Panhandle, all the way to Austin, Texas. Grows like wildfire, and the holly plant, pretty well-known plant, but when it grows south of North Carolina, it can have caffeine in it. And so, that there's been a tradition for thousands of years for using Yopon for caffeine, but it really fell out really when colonial times started. A lot of the unfortunately lost culture and practices using some of our native plants, and it was just lost. And so this plant, has been here. People just don't really know that it has caffeine in it. Those that are familiar with yerba mate, so that's that South American caffeinated
Right.
plant. Guayaquil is the big brand that people know about when it comes to them. That is the cousin of Yopon holly. So they're both holly species plant. Guayusa as well. On top of so it has caffeine. It has a compound called theacrine, which we were so excited about. Study in 2019 took a look at the compounds in Yopon and found that it had this compound theacrine, which is this longer lasting caffeine that has peer-reviewed research that shows that it does not impact your sleep. So it improves cognitive function, doesn't impact sleep, and actually improves cognitive recovery. Now, this study was studying it alone, but Yopan's one of like 2 plants on the planet that contains it. And that was a really, great thing to see in that study. And there are a ton of
Right.
antioxidants, other amazing compounds in the plant as well.
And to explain a lot of this, the flavor is what we think of as tea. Um, and it's a super tea because it does have the antioxidants, it has the polyphenols, it has flavonoids. Uh, and I think what you were saying is with these, was it theocrine or was it, that's what you were just talking about? That boosts the energy, improves focus, improves mood, and it might even help, they can't prove it, decrease bad cholesterol. So being a tea drinker, that's perfect for me. And an important part of this for you, because it's all about giving back and you care about the environment, that it's regenerative farming. And maybe you can explain to people what regenerative farming is if they don't already know.
Absolutely. Uh, we source our Yopan from regenerative farms. We don't yet have our regenerative certification because we're sourcing from multiple different farmers, and some of them are producing regeneratively, but just haven't. They're farming. They're not really focused on that. One of our suppliers is regenerative from down in Austin, Texas, but all the Yopan that we use is regeneratively farmed. So what that means, it's really about being responsible with the earth that the plants are growing in, ensuring that the practice is actually productive for the usability of the land and the ecosystem, at large. When you think about biodiversity and ecosystems, regenerative farming is really about preserving that and making sure that, again, the soil and all of the other natural resources around are in good shape. You want to leave the earth better off than it was before. And we've really seen this trend sweeping across not
Right.
just the US, but the world. And you're even seeing it in livestock settings where you can have regeneratively farmed dairy products and different things like that. So it's very important. We think it's the only way that we can really leave our planet better off for the next generation and for generations to come beyond that. And yeah, for us, it's a big part of the story. A big part of the story for our farmers too, just because they're getting better productivity out of their land and protecting it for the future. Which it also ties in, as I said, to biodiversity, because this is a native crop. It
Right.
is it is built for the land, or the land is built for it, whichever you'd like. But the if you think about like the analogy, when you take the bees out of an ecosystem, suddenly everything sort of falls apart. If you introduce a
Right.
non-native plant to an ecosystem, all of the animals and other plants that relied on what would have been there suddenly are losing their source of food. So now Yopan is in the picture, and all of the animals that have grown around this plant being there are better off for it too. So little related to the regenerative separate, but also they're related in terms of the positive environmental impact for sure.
Right. And it's the only American caffeine product, correct?
It is the only Native American caffeine product. So
Native
there are,
American.
yeah, there's the coffee in Hawaii and some other non-native teas that are being grown at large factory scale throughout the U.S., but really bad for the environment, and also, in my opinion, inferior products from
Of
an
course.
enjoyment perspective. I have to say that.
Of course, of course. And I think the nice thing about the Yopan tea is that, or Goldholly, just to emphasize the brand name, everybody, goldholly.com, you can find out more. And also, I sent Jen the note. We're going to have the link up because you just gone on Amazon.com.
We
So
did.
the link will be up for that as well. But if I drink too many teas like
Yeah.
this, and this tends to be jitter free, it's something about the caffeine and whatever. So you don't have to worry about that people can go to sleep after having a cup of tea. Let's talk about, there are 3 Goldhollies. There is the ocelot light roast, the Florida Panther medium roast, and the Red Wolf dark roast. And we mention animals, and that's another thing about what you do. And I think everything that I was reading about Liam, he is a big animal activist.
Hmm.
So let's talk about why they have these names, and let's talk about the difference in the roast.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for asking. It's the animal element is something that we really love about our brand and about our potential to drive impact. So and also something that's pretty interesting about the plant too, and I'll get into it. So the animals themselves each are endangered species that are native to the land where Yaupon grows. So again, from southern North Carolina all the way down through the Florida Panhandle to Austin, Texas. Texas ocelot, which is the our light roast is named after, um, endangered in Texas, Florida panther in Florida, and then the Carolina red wolf as well. And beautiful animals. We think uh, they really deserve more attention. Liam and I actually went to the Florida Panther Wildlife Refuge
Really?
back in the spring. Yeah, it was. We didn't see any. There unfortunately there are only 30 or 40, I believe. Don't quote me on that number, but left in the wild. And so we were hoping to get down there and to see one. We didn't. We thought we maybe heard something in the bushes, but probably we're imagining it. But it's important to us to make sure that we're highlighting these amazing species, just like Yaupon is an amazing plant species that is native to the area and pretty unknown. So we've named each of the roasts after that to pay homage. The roasts themselves. So Yaupon's really, you typically when you think about roasting, you think coffee, not tea,
Right.
and right, you want to get the different flavors out of coffee. Yaupon works in a very similar way. You can get an entirely different set of flavors, a different flavor profile, just based on how you're processing it, how you're roasting it. And so the light roast is, lightly roasted, medium a little more, and then dark is it's definitely you can tell that it's been roasted. The spectrum of flavor, it really highlights how dynamic Yaupon can be from a flavor perspective. On the light side, you have this yerba mate green tea sort of tasting brew that it's not bitter because there are no tannins in this product as well. So that also means no teeth stains and better digestion. But as a result, you get the yerba mate flavor with the green tea-ish flavor, but without any of the astringency that you would maybe expect from that. Medium roast, pretty balanced. We call it balanced and floral. You get nice floral notes, a gentle sweetness that's there without any additives. At the show, actually, we got a lot of feedback. Did you add any sweetness? And we didn't. It was just how the plant is. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, and the dark roast is more like a black tea. I'd say more typical for your everyday tea drinker, English breakfast style.
Okay. And just to tell people, there are no tariffs.
No tariffs.
No tariffs. And
Never,
for
never any tariffs. It's a big thing for us right now. And we also hope, that this is and a good example of what American made can be. It's not all about, highlighting different things that are unrelated to food and beverage. It's really just about improving Americans at each stage of the supply chain for us.
right. I I'm just looking at my notes. I mean, there's a lot to cover, and I don't want to get too technical because I want people to enjoy this, become aware of it, hopefully buy it. Uh, and especially if they're a tea drinker or if they're watching, they need a little bit of the caffeine, but maybe, as we said, not the jitters. But it does cover all the bullet points we talked about at the beginning of what you wanted to accomplish and what the team wanted to accomplish. Um, just trying to see, I'm reading down the notes. We talked about the company, we talked about the product. It's better energy. We've talked about that. We've talked about the health benefits. We've talked about 100% American and tariff free. I'm going to get my gold star for this. Ecosystem and biodiversity. And I think we've touched on that. Is there anything else that we want to cover on that subject?
Yeah, I think, we're really hoping that our brand is not just, something that is causing positive impact directly, but also is a totem for what people can expect or should expect from the products that they consume on a daily basis. So, it's not just about Goldholly. It's about, let's look for products that are good for our local environments, that are helping people, in our communities that perhaps have been left behind by the development of, the modern economy. We think about farmers and the fact that their businesses have suffered quite a bit over the past few decades.
Right.
Um, and I think if we can hopefully get our story out there and people are compelled to purchase it because of that, hopefully we'll be able to help and participate in other businesses and other industries growth just based off of what we're trying to accomplish. And so I just want to say anybody who's interested in trying new products, look for native crops, look for locally made products. Small businesses, I think are really uh, they're the fabric of our country and our economy, and looking for products made by them, I think, is just an immense opportunity for all of us.
And I think there's more products coming out thinking about the environment, thinking about where the food comes from. And that was very prevalent at the Fancy Food Show,
Yeah.
at the emerging businesses. Every time I go to the show, that's the first place I go. I want to see what's new. And for the first day, the first hour, everybody's like this. Day three, they're like, yeah. But you must have been overwhelmed.
Oh,
Had you?
it was our first show like exhibiting. It was crazy. It was a phenomenal experience for all of us. I did a little bit of scouting at Expo West out in Anaheim at the beginning of the year to see what the trade show game is all about for food and beverage. Again, I was on Wall Street, so very, very all new for me. And yeah, the show was just great. We got a lot of good retail interest, people from different stores throughout the country, chains, larger stores, distributors as well, coming and exploring the booth. And I think part of it is when you came up to our booth, we had such a great conversation. It made other people want to come over to the booth. And so, I think that was, we sort of got just decided, like, let's have fun with it. Let's talk to people about our product, as passionate as we are. And that sort of drove, I think, a lot of good attention. We were in the Boston Globe a couple of days ago,
I saw that.
based off of that. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was really cool to see. And we're a scrappy company. We're trying to not spend as much money, like, to save money where we can. And we've just gotten a lot of good natural organic interest, and it feels really, really good. We really hope that we can cause something good here as a result.
Right. It shows that the three of you have done your due diligence, that you've created a product that there's an interest for. And, this is just the beginning. Now you're on Amazon.com. People, that link is up in the comments. So you can go directly to Amazon.com, and it's under Gold Holly Organic Yopon Tea. But the link is the simplest way to get there. And I'm sure it's going to be up on your website momentarily if it isn't there already.
Yes.
When did it go up on Amazon? Was it the past 2 days or something?
So we went on Amazon about 2 weeks ago. We made our announcement on Instagram the other day. So we wanted to make sure everything was up and running and good before making the announcement. And it's been really great to see, like, our sales have, weekly sales have almost doubled since going online there. We're seeing, a lot more interest in our online store too. Just our dedicated non-Amazon one, just because. So we sell our bundle where you can get a taste of each roast on our website. Not yet on Amazon. So we're seeing, each platform is helping the other out. And I'd say a lot of credit to the rest of the team for that. There's it's a lot of cool stuff that you can do on Amazon, and Liam has become a wizard of sorts for making making it happen there.
Right. Well, the technology, I think at some point, you worked for a company called Floodlight, a pre-seed satellite-based emissions measurement company where you oversaw products. Who knows what a pre-seed satellite-based emissions measurement company is?
That was yeah, right after finance. I went there. It was really cool. I led financials and corporates there, which was essentially bringing that solution and running the product strategy, marketing, all of the things. Small companies, everyone's wearing a million hats. Um, excuse me. And We were working on using satellites to measure greenhouse gas emissions for companies that have had to report that on uh,
Okay.
their regular releases, and then on top of that, those that are involved in the real estate space that are looking to make different changes based off of the emissions profile. But one of the cooler things there was working on risk, so analyzing how things like wildfire risk, intense storms, rainfall, all of these other different things happen. And so you could adjust your risk expectations based off of the different profiles that you'd see there. So it was a really good experience tying sort of my finance with the environmental aspect in, but
Right.
it gave me a lot of tools for starting this business. It's been really helpful for that as well.
I'm sure. Yeah. And we know that the environment is very questionable. We know that um, more storms, more this, more that, more intense.
Yeah.
This wasn't 10 years ago. This wasn't even 5 years ago. And things are changing. But that's a whole other interview. But thank you for explaining what a satellite-based emissions measurement company
Yeah,
was.
definitely.
I appreciate that. Okay, everybody, just to remind you, goldholly.com. Everything you want to know, how to access it, that is all up, all the social medias. If you're on Instagram, it's Drink Gold Holly, but that's all up in the comments section. So we had a chance to talk momentarily before going on, and I found out that you are a person who loves food. I'm not
I do.
sure. You talked about the curry you're going to have after the show. I'm going to have a lamb chop that's being marinated at the moment. So, and this is still 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm going to come back to some of the food questions that I normally ask, plus some of the other ones that I thought that were apropos.
Yeah.
I know that you like food, you like to eat it. Are you a cook?
Oh, I'm not a cook. I am a big eater and not a good cook.
You're a
Well,
designated eater
I'm
then.
a designated. Yeah, they call me the garbage disposal in my household. Give me food, I eat it.
Okay. So I shouldn't ask you your ultimate culinary fail, or should I?
Oh, I think I'm the perfect person to ask about culinary fails. I have failed quite a bit. Um, when you're younger, you watch adults cook, and I, for whatever reason, saw someone add salt. Right, they're making pasta, pretty easy, simple thing, and so I you know, made mac and cheese for a big group of people. Yeah, I mean, it's really, I'm ashamed to say, I salted the water very heavily, and I messed up mac and cheese, which is like the hardest thing to mess up. Pretty well known for that in my circle now. I make the saltiest mac and cheese in all of Massachusetts. So uh,
Okay.
that would be probably my biggest fail. Probably some other experiments that have gone wrong.
Okay.
And yeah,
Okay.
I stay out of the cooking
Okay.
process.
Okay. So we will now put you down as Andrew Little, designated eater.
Designated eater.
Okay. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self a piece of advice, what would it be?
It would be to dream. Like I think I think everybody should have the opportunity to pursue things that they're very passionate about. I believe that by doing that, you create the best possible work that you can create. And I truly do believe, and I know it's cliche, but anything is achievable, especially with the resources that we have available to us today for little to no cost. Anything is achievable. I just do whatever great idea that you think you have at the time. Maybe it doesn't work. Try again. Try another idea. Keep going. One of them's going to hit, and that's what I recommend.
Okay, terrific, terrific. That's what you would tell yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
If you wake up tomorrow morning with a new talent, what would the new talent be? And don't say
Oh,
cooking.
I'd say flying. 100%. Like if that's like a real, if you're saying like superpower talent, that's what that would be. Real talent, probably speaking multiple languages. I speak a little bit of Chinese from the classes took with Liam. But I would say, I'm a big Japanese food enthusiast, and so I would probably want to learn how to speak Japanese or
Okay.
flying if that's on the table.
Okay, just to be able to fly like
Yeah, well,
Superman.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Not in a plane, just
Yeah, no,
it's a
definitely not a
bird, it's a
plane
plane, it's Andrew.
with the bad salty mac and cheese.
What's the best bite you've had all week?
So on the Japanese food trend, there's an amazing sushi restaurant in Gloucester, Massachusetts. It's called Sushi by Song Lee. He was actually on the show Chopped, and was on the first sushi episode and won that. Um, Everything he does is from the local environment, and so he takes Japanese style omakase, marries it with Gloucester seafood, and it was just so good.
Okay. What didn't I ask you that I probably should have?
Hmm. I think you covered every base. I guess I have a question for you. Are you going to be at the Summer Fancy Food Show next year, or maybe the Winter Show this coming winter?
Well, I'm not going West Coast, and as for the summer, I would like to. We'll see.
Well,
You
I
know,
hope we can see you there.
hey, if you're ever winging through Baltimore, let me know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I know it's people usually go New York, Philadelphia, Washington, not Baltimore. Baltimore, I like Baltimore. Been here a long, long time, and it gets a bad rap.
Great baseball team, though.
What's
I'm a
it?
fan. I'm a fan. I'm a Red Sox fan too. So also I'm a baseball fan. So I appreciate the Orioles for the great players they have.
They just had, off the subject, um, it was 2131, Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
It's 30 years, so they just had the big deal, and they had a lot of the original Orioles that were on the team, and it was a big, big night at the stadium.
And then
I
they beat
stayed
the
home.
Dodgers. They beat the Dodgers and like with I think they were being no hit like right until the end. They came back. It was a great. I think I watched some of that. Really, really cool game.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much. Much success and growing success. Let me know when you come out with a new product,
Definitely.
and hopefully we'll cross paths. You see, next year not going to be in the emerging section.
Yeah, if we can afford to be on a different floor with the no longer being emerging, we certainly will. Otherwise, we may have to find another way to get to the show. Some of these booths are just so intricate and sophisticated, and we're
Oh,
raising money pretty soon, so hopefully we can make it there. But yeah, I'll definitely let you know.
well, I know over 20 years ago, I worked for Van Spices, and I would
Mm.
pre-plan the booth, and they had a 10 by 20 booth.
Yeah,
I can
they
tell
can
you
get
stories.
pretty.
It would bore the people who are watching this, but offline, if you want to hear the stories about the Fancy Food Show, reach out to me. I have those. Again, continued success. Tell the boys I said hi if they remember me. And I hope to see you. Hope to see you. Thank you so much, Andrew, for being on the show.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you, and I hope to see you again. Thanks, Dara.
You're welcome. Bye now. Okay, everyone. Talking about the Fancy Food Show, I have another product that I fell in love with, and it wasn't too far from Andrew's booth. Middle Eastern flavors are rocking it, and Amy Dell, next week's guest, created Sababa Foods, authentic and high quality Middle Eastern flavors for modern cooks. Her debut product is Saturday Sauce, initially created to making shashuka easy and very tasty, but it pairs very well with fish, meats, grains, veggie soups, stews, and more. She was inspired by her father, a former chef and restaurateur, to make Saturday Sauce. and it is yum. I was there with bread and just dipping it. So tune in next week for that. You don't want to miss that. Feel free to reach out to me via my email, food@jmoreliving.com, or Dara Cook's Instagram, @Dara Cooks is my Instagram. And I'm on Facebook. I do have a page called The Food Enthusiast. You can find me there. You can sign up at jmoreliving.com for a free bi-monthly This Week in Baltimore Eating newsletter. Recipes, local food news, and videos from the Food Enthusiast, and more. Click on the connect button on jmoreliving.com's website, and you'll see it says connect. Fill out the form. And usually, if you go to JMore Living and see these videos, because they do go to video, underneath it gives you a link to sign up there as well. All our shows are immediately archived in video form on JMore Living's Facebook page and jmoreliving.com. We truly appreciate it when you share our show with friends and family. Feel free to go back into the videos, into the archives, and see the past shows if you've missed any of them. May your plates always, always remain full. I hope to see you here next Thursday.